It's a surprising day in the world of Magic the Gathering. Hasbro has just admitted that Magic's 30th anniversary collector edition was a huge mistake. On top of that, we have some crazy new playtest cards to talk about and a whole bunch of secret layer information.
Magic. I am a wizard! History. I'm an old wizard! The magic historian. My bones hurt.
Greetings, owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles, my friends. I hope the day finds you well because we have gathered for another installment of Mega Magic News. And it feels like it's been a few days since we've done one of these because I'm doing the switch over with my computer and all that. So we have a ton to talk about. Now, first of all, is Hasbro straight up saying that 30th anniversary was a mistake. I was genuinely surprised to hear this, but when going over the challenges, that's the word they use, when things aren't going well in the corporate world, they go, it's a challenging situation. And it's like, it's pretty challenging trying to milk these magical cows for every dollar. So 30th anniversary blew up in their face. Obviously, the D&D situation did as well. But when it came to the CEO of Hasbro talking about how things shook out, he said that the D&D players made their discontent known, but ultimately that wasn't much of a bottom line changer. The 30th anniversary language, though, talking about a product, what was the wording? It was basically they went too aggressive with their pricing on it, which is a crazy way to put we were mega insane-o greedy, where we thought, what if we didn't print actual Magic cards and said buy official, unofficial Magic cards randomized for $250 a booster, you gotta buy 4 at a time, right? They were so out of their minds that the market outright rejected it. The pitchforks went up, and I don't just mean normal market rejection where you get, look at the master sets, they're sitting in warehouses, nobody wants to buy Masters 25, nobody wants to buy iconic Masters. Those sets were basically just trash. Distributors were trying to unload them for years, right? That's the kind of situation it was before, but the stuff it sold. Wizards of the Coast didn't have to go, hey, let's just pull it, get it out of here, put it in a sack, run off into the street with it because we can't be seen with this. They literally had to retract the product they had available for sale and go, this product is no longer available for sale, not sold out. They had to turn tail and run because it had the very expected but unanticipated for Wizards of the Coast. You have to understand, when you wonder, how could they possibly do this? You have to understand that the people in charge are absolutely disconnected from the reality of the players of the game. There are people who are off in a boardroom and they're looking over numbers on a sheet and they just go, okay, this and this, and they ask some questions of the people right below them and maybe the people right below them. So they are no way in contact with the people who actually make the game or play the game. And they just go, well, you know what? The reserve list has a lot of untapped money in the secondary market, so why don't we go into that? But we don't want to get touched by lawsuits, so we've noticed that players are into these gold back things and they'll use them, and Commander's our biggest format, and what do they really want? Dual land. So why don't we make collector's edition sets where they chase the big cards, but also it's mostly about double dual lands, bro. Get them from your Commander deck. You can just play with these. They're not real Magic cards, but you guys like playing with not real Magic cards, right? And then a bunch of people went, wait, playing with not real Magic cards is cool? Okay, well then we're going to go and get some proxies. So they started going out and just snagging up proxies, going, boom, I'm selling off my cards. You'll notice that Wizards all of a sudden was starting to hit proxy websites saying, hey, stop what you're doing. Stop what you're doing. Because they realized, oops, oh, no. Okay, people are mega angry. Even the game stores they said they were going to send this product to were enraged to the point where some of them were like, we're going to burn this in protest of the company. It's such an absurd situation. So the CEO of Hasbro has to walk the whole thing back and be like, that was we just overshot it with the pricing. And that really just says, honestly, when you look at it underneath, their viewpoint is, we've crossed the line of too much. We found the line of too much. How do we pull it back just enough, right? They're not, the crazy part is they're not back there going, you know what, man? We've completely ruined people's trust. The D&D players don't trust us. The Magic players don't trust us. What do we do? And it's like, how about we make something slightly less awful and slightly less expensive? That's it. Expect some tweaks. Don't expect them to come back and go, here is the apology product. Like, they literally thought that the 30th anniversary $1,000 product was going to be how we celebrated. Hey, let's celebrate 30 years of Magic by you overpaying for non-official Magic cards. It boggles the mind, right? So, that covers that situation. We can expect to see more forays into Crazy Price Town. Let's move on to looking at some other craziness. I want to take a peek at the Shadowborn Apostle that is a bonus card from the Hello Kitty Secret Lair. Well, it's not Hello Kitty. It's from Look at the Kitty, sorry. There's no Hello Kitty Secret Lair. So this is from Look at the Kitty Secret Lair. The vibe on this is a lot of fun. You got the big, bright, vibrant colors. It gives you that anime feel. Follow the lovely flower lady. Where are we going, lady? Oh, just come with me. It'll be just fine. And then she smothers you with them plants. And you're like, what's all this for? And it's like, oh, the demon likes to smell these. It's like, what demon? You'll see. So I love that they're doing all these variation of the Shadowborn Apostles for the secret layers, right? They did the same thing with the persistent petitioners. And it's a fun concept. And this pops visually as well. So I enjoy that. Speaking of popping visually, before we talk about the playtest cards, let's take a look at some artwork for some upcoming Secret Lair cards. We don't know the cards, we just know the art. Starting out with this psychedelic Scoot. I mean, looking at this, to me, this is most likely going to be something like either Scoot Swarm or Scoot Mob, right? You got the little beetly body with the gigantic horn. There's a couple other creatures that it might mesh with in Magic, but it gives me that Scoot vibe. Maybe the Swarm, maybe the Horde. It depends. It could be either, right? But it's a cool concept. I love the people that are running away from it, and it's just big, dumb, goofy face. Like, this is a silly Secret Lair art. Now let's take a look at something that feels a little more somber and reflective. This is stunning. I don't even know what this style of artwork is called, but this is most likely, pretty much has to be Tuvasa, right? If you look especially up at the headpiece with the pieces that are floating up there, it really does match that. So you've got what was originally showcased in an Ixalan vibe, and now it's being done in this style, which I find to be incredibly striking. I like Secret Lair for the variety of visual beauty that it brings to the game. Continuing with the Secret Lair news, we have the Secret Lair that's going to be sent out to game stores, which is a Walker version done in a manga style. So you get a Nicol Bolas, you get Sarkin, you get Sorin, and you get Mecha Ugin. So this is a Secret Lair that's going to be available through your local game store. I don't know how many they're going to get. I don't know if this is going to be an Ultimate Edition, because at this point they're teasing us, so we just know these specific cards. The bonus card is also unknown for this. Let's move on to some more wacky Secret Lair news in the form of this goofy Shivan Dragon. So you will notice, if you take a look at this guy, that this is actually a serialized, limited to 295 copies Shivan Dragon. So when you go to events like MagicCon, apparently what Wizards is doing now is just handing out random Secret Lair promo cards. Secret Lair gets muddier and muddier as a concept, but ultimately the idea, if you're hanging out in a convention and you just get given one of these, people were given these apparently standing in line, so you didn't specifically have to buy a product to get them. It was just exist in the area. So that adds an element of fun to it. Them choosing Shivan Dragon, it's kind of an odd choice overall, considering how much they've done it, right? Shivan Dragon, by today's standards, with the power creep in Magic, it is not the king dog that it used to be. Once upon a time, this 6 mana 5/5 flyer with the fire breathing was epic. I was terrified of these things. You had very few answers, especially if you were playing mono green like me. You better hope you had an elvish archer with an aspect of wolf and a web on it, or something like a hurricane, to have any chance of surviving against these things. And everybody who played Shivens had mana flares. So they put up the mana flare on the third turn, and then they'd be like, Shivan Dragon, fourth turn, get ready. Oh, I'm going to swing in for like 16 next turn when I pump. It's just ridiculous, right? So it is old school power, but by today's standards, if you saw this in a pack, you'd be like, that's an uncommon maybe, right? Like maybe you'd need to make it a little more expensive, but it definitely doesn't feel rare level. The really hilarious thing to me is the artwork. When you look at the artwork and you see the dragon there, he's got this big goofy grin on his face. He's grabbing them volcanoes, one in each hand. Them volcanoes are erupting in his hands, if you know what I'm saying. There's a particular vibe to this. This is Wizards' apology right here. They're like, yo, wink, wink, this is what we're going to give you. Doesn't this look real handy? This is a really handy looking card. I can't get over it, man. Look at the dragon. Look at the volcanoes. What were they actually? You know what? These are the same people who said, "Yeah, that stone coil serpent looks fine," and later like, "That guy's doing what in the artwork? Oh, we totally didn't notice that, even though it's in the center of the art." So, anyhow. That's hilarious to me. So, the Shivan Dragon is a weird card choice. The serialized number aspect of it makes it way more of a chase card, and people will be offering hundreds of dollars for these. So essentially what's going on now is if you show up at one of these Magic Cons, you get like an extra lottery aspect to it, which does genuinely add excitement. I can see it. I see the buzz online. I see people posting their pictures of them, and I see other people going, yo, let me buy that right now. I'll give you 200, 300 bucks. And other people going, you're dumb to pay that. And other people are going, yo, no, but with the Brothers War one. So the consensus is that these cards are mostly worthwhile in terms of you're going to be able to squeeze some bucks out of somebody if you don't want them yourself. Now, let's talk about the crazy unknown event that features cards like Malira's Snacks. Take a good gander at this one, my friends. This is a weird card, right? So, in the upper right-hand corner, you can't really see it very, very clearly, but it's got a casting cost of 2. This is an artifact food. It gives poison tolerance +3. It takes 3 additional poison counters for you to lose the game to poison. When Malira's Snacks enters the battlefield, draw a card. 2 untap, sacrifice Malira's Snacks, you gain 3 life. So, what is this? This is a Magic playtest card. If you don't know how Magic design works, when they're making new Magic cards, they just print stickers like this out and slap them onto cards they have kicking around because the number of changes they make to the cards make it insane to be printing out a perfect new version every time. So they make these rough and ready, just play with them versions. Now, these are cards that you can get at the Magic Con by playing in the unknown event, which is a really cool concept. You get basically 3 booster packs of Phyrexia All Will Be One. You get 2 mystery boosters, which already have those playtest cards, which you may or may not have seen. And then on top of that, you get a 10 card pack of these new playtest cards. So you've got 5 booster packs in total, plus 10 full-on crazy playtest cards. Not all of them are going to fit into your deck because they're different colors, they have different abilities, but this is a really awesome concept, and it lets you basically, it's a similar to, maybe it's the new. This is like the new stuff, if you really start to think about it. It's where they start to get a little more out there. Malira's Snacks, though, isn't something that moves into that realm. It feels a little bit weird with the whole poison tolerance, and when you look at the card, you're like, okay, it's like, that's a fun concept, but it doesn't feel too powerful overall. Sometimes the cards they make are super powerful, so these playtest cards will range from stuff like Malira's Snacks up to, all right, I can't win the game, you guys can't win the game, none of us can lose the game, but if everybody's decks are empty, then I win the game. There's a bunch of weird craziness with it. I absolutely love it. Seems like fun stuff for the cube. But either way, that's all the news we have to talk about for today. I'll be live streaming over on my other YouTube channel. You are welcome to come by and hang out, and I'm dropping a new Phyrexia All Will Be One secret story, behind the scenes story that will be releasing within the next 48 hours or so over on Fantasy Geographic. So I'll leave a link to that channel up on the screen as well in case you want to check that out. You don't know, I might be tied up for the next couple days with the computer stuff still. So that being said, I will see you all in the next video. Thanks for coming by, and my patrons are the best humans on the planet.